Imagine a time long ago, a time when the world was a much different place. England, a patchwork of kingdoms, vulnerable and ripe for the taking. Small villages and towns dotted the landscape, each with its own unique charm and character. Across the North Sea, fierce warriors with a thirst for gold and glory watched, waited. These were the Vikings, Norsemen from Scandinavia, who had honed their skills in the harsh northern climates. These were the Vikings, Norsemen from Scandinavia, masters of the waves in their longships. Their ships were marvels of engineering, capable of navigating both open seas and shallow rivers. They were not simply barbarians, though their reputation for ferocity preceded them. They were also skilled craftsmen, creating intricate jewelry and weapons. The Vikings were skilled seafarers, traders, and explorers. They established trade routes that spanned continents, bringing goods and ideas from far-off lands. But they were also ruthless raiders, driven by the promise of riches and land. Their raids were swift and brutal, leaving devastation in their wake. England, with its wealthy monasteries and divided kingdoms, was a tempting prize. The monasteries in particular were rich in both treasure and knowledge. The Vikings' arrival would change England forever. Their longships with their dragon-proud bows became a symbol of terror along the coastline. No corner of the island would be safe from their raid. Villages were burned and people were taken as slaves or killed. Monasteries, centers of wealth and learning, were easy targets. The monks, dedicated to their faith, were often defenseless against the Viking onslaught. Coastal villages lived in fear of the dragon-proud ships appearing on the horizon. The sight of these ships meant that death and destruction were imminent. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, a historical record of the time, describes the Vikings as wolves among sheep. Their ferocity and cunning were unmatched. Their arrival marked the beginning of a new era, a time of violence and upheaval, but also of great change and cultural fusion. The Vikings left an indelible mark on England, shaping its history and culture in ways that are still evident today. The year 793 AD, a date etched in history and legend. On the holy island of Lindisfarne off the Northumbrian coast, monks went about their daily prayers. The monastery, a beacon of learning and faith, was renowned for its piety and wealth. But on this day, the peace was shattered. Out of the north, like demons from a nightmare, came the Viking longships. The Vikings descended upon Lindisfarne with terrifying speed and fury. They plundered the monastery, killing the monks and taking valuables. Gold, silver, religious relics, all were fair game. The raid on Lindisfarne sent shockwaves through Anglo-Saxon England. It was a brutal introduction to the Vikings' power and ruthlessness. Word spread like wildfire. The Vikings had arrived and no one was safe. What began as raids escalated into full-blown invasions. The Vikings, no longer content with plunder, began to seize land and establish settlements. In 865 AD, a force unlike any England had seen before landed on its shores. This was the great Heathen army, a vast force of Viking warriors, united in their ambition to conquer and rule. Led by legendary Viking warlords, including the sons of Ragnar Lothbrok, the great Heathen army cut a swathe through England. Northumbria fell, then East Anglia. The Vikings, masters of strategy and brutality, seemed unstoppable. Their arrival was not simply a military campaign, it was a migration, a wave of people seeking a new home. And they were prepared to fight for it, carving out their own kingdoms from the heart of England. The Viking sagas, tales of heroes and battles, tell of Ragnar Lothbrok, a legendary Viking king and raider. His story is one of bravery, cunning, and relentless ambition. Ragnar's exploits have been immortalized in countless tales, making him a figure of both historical intrigue and mythic grandeur. Whether a historical figure or a composite of many, Ragnar's legend loomed large. His name echoed through the ages, symbolizing the fierce spirit of the Viking Age. He is said to have raided England, terrorizing its coasts. His longships, sleek and fast, became the harbingers of doom for many coastal settlements. His sons, Ivar the Boneless, Halfdan and Ubba, driven by vengeance for their father's supposed death at the hands of an English king, became the leaders of the great Heathen army. This formidable force swept across England, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. These were not just names in chronicles, but figures of fear and awe. Their deeds were etched into the annals of history, their ferocity unmatched. Ivar the Boneless, a cunning strategist despite his physical limitations, became the mastermind of the Viking conquest. His intellect and ruthlessness made him a formidable opponent. Halfdan, a ruthless warrior, carved out his own kingdom in Northumbria. His ambition knew no bounds, and his conquests were legendary. Ubba, a figure of terrifying strength, led the Vikings to victory after victory. His prowess in battle was the stuff of legends, inspiring both his men and his enemies. These were leaders who inspired both loyalty and dread, their names whispered in hushed tones, their exploits recounted around campfires. Their legacy is a testament to the indomitable spirit of the Vikings, a people who left an indelible mark on history. Section 5. The Raven Banner flies south, Viking conquests and English resistance. The Viking advance seemed unstoppable. York, once a proud Roman city, fell to the invaders. East Anglia was ravaged and its king, Edmund, brutally killed, becoming a martyr in the eyes of the English. The Vikings, with their superior military skills and ruthless tactics, seemed poised to conquer all of England. But the English spirit would not be so easily broken. From the ashes of defeat, new leaders emerged, determined to resist the Viking onslaught. One king would rise above the rest, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. His name was Alfred, and he would become known as Alfred the Great. Section 6. The tide turns at Edington. Alfred the Great and the pushback begins. Alfred, King of Wessex, knew he could not defeat the Vikings in open battle. Not yet. He resorted to guerrilla tactics, harassing the Viking forces, wearing them down. In 878 AD, at the Battle of Edington, Alfred's forces finally met the Vikings head on. It was a decisive victory for Alfred, a turning point in the Viking wars. The Vikings, defeated but not broken, were forced to negotiate. The Treaty of Wedmore was signed, dividing England. The northeast, the Danelaw, would be ruled by the Vikings, but the south would remain under Alfred's control. Section 7, a land divided, the Danelaw and the legacy of Viking rule. The Danelaw, the area where Danish law prevails, became a melting pot of cultures. Vikings and Anglo-Saxons lived side by side, their customs and languages mingling. Towns like York and Lincoln flourished under Viking rule, becoming important trading centers. The Vikings brought with them their own legal systems, social structures, and artistic traditions. They were not simply conquerors. They were settlers, adapting to their new surroundings while leaving an indelible mark on the land and its people. The Danelaw became a testament to the Vikings' ability to adapt, to rule, and to leave a lasting legacy. Section 8. More than conquerors, the Viking impact on England. The Viking impact on England went far beyond warfare and conquest. They brought with them their language, their craftsmanship, and their seafaring skills. Words like berserk, skull, and knife are just a few examples of the Viking influence on the English language. Their skills in shipbuilding and navigation had a lasting impact on England's maritime tradition. The Vikings were also skilled craftsmen, renowned for their metalwork, woodworking, and storytelling. Their artistic motifs, intricate knotwork designs, and fearsome animal imagery found their way into English art and architecture. The Vikings, despite their reputation as raiders, were also traders and explorers, connecting England to a wider world. Section 9. Echoes of the North. The enduring presence of the Vikings. The Viking Age in England may have ended, but their presence is still felt today. From the remnants of their settlements to the cultural imprints they left behind, the Vikings have woven themselves into the very fabric of English history. Place names like Grimsby, Whitby, and Derby bear witness to their settlement. These names are not just markers on a map, they are echoes of a time when Viking influence was at its peak. DNA studies reveal the extent of Viking ancestry in many parts of England. Modern genetic research has uncovered surprising connections, showing that many people in England today carry Viking blood in their veins. Their stories continue to fascinate us, their exploits recounted in books, films, and television shows. The tales of Viking bravery, adventure, and exploration captivate audiences around the world. The Vikings were more than just raiders who terrorized England. They were a complex society with their own culture, beliefs, and traditions. They were explorers, traders, and settlers who shaped the destiny of a nation. Their voyages took them far beyond the shores of England, establishing trade routes and settlements across Europe and beyond. Their story is a reminder that history is not a simple narrative of good versus evil, but a complex tapestry woven from conquest, resistance, adaptation, and ultimately fusion. The Viking legacy is a testament to the enduring power of cultural exchange and integration. The Vikings, those fierce warriors from the north, left an enduring legacy on England, one that continues to resonate centuries later. Their influence can still be seen and felt in various aspects of modern English life, from place names to genetic heritage and even in popular culture.